Good morning. Good morning. Uncle Keith's here chalking on the coffee. Good morning, everybody. This is Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Keith here, live and clearly caffeinated, choking up my coffee this morning, welcoming you to another round of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, your daily accountability partner and live morning show stuffed with real talk, motivating content, and entertaining conversation. Getting after it every single day here at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Here's what's sprinting down the track in hour one today, the big 2-hour event that gets after it daily here. Coming up, guys, the 5-minute morning mind gap. We were talking about it yesterday. We didn't get after it, so we got the 5-minute morning mind gym. A mental toughness hack so sharp it could slice the snooze button in half. Speaking of snooze button, Apple made some changes to iOS. You guys can either cut the snooze button in half or you can extend it all the way to 15 minutes. Manager Mythbuster, discover the one time of the day that can make or break the feedback you give your time. When do you think it is? Is it a Friday morning at 9 o'clock? Is it Friday at 3 o'clock? We're talking the best time to give feedback to your team. David Laughead or Laughead. David, I apologize. I'm not dropping the name correctly. How therapy struggles turned into an AI revolution that's rewriting personal development playbooks. Then we're going to dive head first into our headline, the 2025 connection crisis. Yep. Why successful men are more isolated than ever and the 3-step solution to get after it, which is what we do here in the lab every single day. And because we're never going to leave you hanging, guys, we got an hour or two coming up as well here today, as we always do. We get the big old morning show here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the 2-hour event daily. We're going to talk about tactical drills for building ironclad brotherhood, rapid fire Q&A. We got Logan Rae joining us in the second hour as well. And guys, I invite you to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, comments on what you're seeing in the lab behind the scenes on the only morning show to guys get yourself going. Hey, just a reminder, guys, this is an R-rated experience. We tend to drop some language that might offend the children, and we don't want to offend the children, which we might do along the way today. And guys, just to give a heads up here, we also have the morning store. It is live, themorning.store. We got merchandise and content for you guys to pick up and get after whenever you guys are looking for something fun to wear that might give you some excitement other than what you're wearing today. All right, we got Jon Andersen joining me in the lab here in a couple minutes. Here he is. I'm sitting here waiting for us. And guys, we got the Mornings in the Lab hotline as well. 431-300-3005. There it is on the screen, 431-300-3005, the only hotline for voicemail, text, and hey, give us a call. We might just include you in on the show. Jimmy, let's bring the man himself up into the lab. Let's bring Jon Andersen up here and see what's shaking for the Mr. Andersen. What's going on, brother? How are you, pal?
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking me. Then I'm wondering why my music is not working at the moment, but I'm good. How was your day today? How was your day yesterday? What's going on in your world?
It was good. I had a freaking gnarly workout, man. Holy Toledo. I'm feeling today's a day off, and it's all working out just perfect.
Nice. What'd you get after today? Or yesterday? What'd you get after?
I did a combo of squats and pull-ups.
Squats. Oh, so there you go, man. We talk compound movements. You got after a couple big compounds yesterday. And you know what?
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man.
And I followed it up with pull-ups. So I went I went pull-up, squat, 5 sets. Then I went power clean pull-up for 5 sets.
You know what? So let's dig into that. Folks get so confused with doing all these little measly exercises, and they're trying to do this, trying to do that. You go into the gym, you get 2 exercises, put them on the table. Pull-ups, upper body compound movement. Squats, lower body compound movement. Like, buddy, you're hitting, I'm going to make an exaggerative point here, but you're hitting hundreds of big muscle groups. I know it's not hundreds, but you're hitting all these big muscle groups. What'd you get after? 20 minutes, half an hour? An hour? How long are you in there for?
That one probably took me an hour because those are when you finish with one of those, you're freaking breathing, dude.
Well, let's dig into that. If you're doing them properly, it should. Now, correct me, Johnny. If you're doing them properly, it should essentially, again, I'm going to make an exaggerative point, attack your nervous system. Like, you should feel beat, right? Like, if you're doing them.
As I feel today. I didn't so much. I mean, I felt it yesterday, but today I woke up and here's another element that I did with the pull-ups.
Yeah.
So, because I was really, obviously my squats, it's hips, it's legs, it's back. And obviously the power cleans are going to be some back, a lot of posterior chain, right? So the pull-ups, what I did is I leaned really far back. So I turned it into as much of a rowing movement as I could.
Oh, nice.
So what I was really focused on was my posterior chain. Now, granted, I also did a really low bar squat. So I was sitting really deep back on my heels, which then also activates the glutes as the primary. So it was the way that I did the movements, it all kind of centered on the posterior. Like I feel my quads a little bit, but I feel my glutes, my lower back, and my thoracic the most.
Oh, yeah. I get you there. Kenzie, what's going on? Kenzie, you're hanging out with myself and John this morning on Mornings Live with Keith and friends. Who wants a girlfriend? I'll be one. Kenzie, I'll be your girlfriend. Yeah, I can absolutely be.
No, you're my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm Johnny Anderson's girlfriend and his assistant. Oh, actually.
Yeah, what am I going to do without my assistant? Shit.
I forgot. I missed a task yesterday. I have to get you AJ's phone number. I thought of that this morning here. So your assistant.
You're fired. What are you doing?
We'll get that done here later this morning as well. Fellas, if you're here, you already know that the lab hits different. You're getting clarity. You're getting fired up. What if you could take that even further? The Mornings Lab YouTube membership is for the ones ready and showing up, leveling up, guys. We got it all over from $3 to $15 monthly. Keeps you accountable, gets you into the lab, gets you hanging out with us. What's going on, Roofy? I see you there. Underoos, it's underwear that's fun to wear. Anyone remember that? I absolutely remember the underoos. Good morning, good time. I see you there as well. Lady Drew, what's shaking? Always in the lab first thing in the morning. And then Maddie's got a merch idea. Mornings in the Lab boxers, raising life expectancy. Yes, on their rear, logo across the front. It's actually a pretty good idea there, Matt. I think it's a fucking fantastic idea to get some underwear for the gang here in the lab. Jimmy, I'm going to put something up here for us to dig into. I got a 5-minute morning mind gym hack, Johnny. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but I did not get around to getting after it. We got David Laughead, or David, I don't know if I'm saying your name properly. David Laughead joining us here in a few moments, coming up at the 15-minute mark of the show here. Johnny, have you ever noticed how some days your mind feels sharp, focused, and resilient, while other days it's derailed by the smallest setback? Jimmy, you got a video for us to run there, brother, on this one?
Oh yeah, baby. That's easy to have.
What if I told you that the difference between a sharp, resilient mind and one that gets derailed by the smallest setback isn't luck? It's a specific 5-minute practice that takes less time than brewing your morning coffee. Welcome to the Morning Mind Gym, the mental toughness training that elite performers and everyday men are using to revolutionize how they start their day.
Subscribe to this every single day because I would consider you an elite performer. We got special forces, operators, increasingly everyday men are calling the 5-minute morning mind gym this concentrated mental toughness practice that's revolutionizing how men start their day and handle whatever life throws at them. Now, here's the thing. It's about resilience. In work that's increasingly unpredictable and stressful. And the research shows, John, that men who develop this specific type of mental strength experience 42% less burnout, recover from setbacks twice as fast, and report significantly higher life satisfaction. And it all starts at first thing in the morning, like you do. Sit down, get after it, and think about how you're going to start your day, whether it's writing it down with the gratitude journal or whether it's visualizing it. But modern performance psychology, Johnny, defines mental toughness as the ability to maintain focus, make quality decisions, and regulate emotions under pressure. Now, hang tight before I ask for your comment, because you and I grew up in an era, and I know you, and I know that we're proud of where we are now. We grew up in an era that mental toughness was not actually about pushing through pain, and not about, and yeah, there's something about that, and it's not about muting your emotions and becoming emotionless and becoming a robot. It's actually about creating awareness about being in the moment, managing your emotions like you've taught me about responding instead of reacting, and learning how to maintain the focus through the entire experience. Jon Andersen.
Well, real quick, you said when we were young, you're saying it's different now than when we were young. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, because when you and I were young, our fathers, our bonus fathers weren't leaning into the emotional aspect of it. It was just, no, tough it out. Yeah. And there's certainly something to be said for that. But we've matured enough to know that toughing it out while having awareness, while not being a robot without emotion, all those things come to the table to help us move through these situations.
Well, I think they had it right in just a sliver of the pie, maybe a chunk of the pie. We'll call it whatever percentage you want.
Yes,
toughen it out. They were speaking of physical. Just deal with it. Yes. Don't want to do it too bad, right? Well, that's obviously gonna be physical, but then you realize that you got to go into some mental toughness to deal with the physical toughness. So basically, what I'm getting at is they had it right by saying deal with it, tough it out. They just needed to open up that spectrum a little bit.
That's right. That's right.
And so I think as time moved forward, we started to realize that there was more to it than just because as we start watching our world around us, you see these they call it these tough guys, these alphas that are really, really strong in one part of their lives, and the other part of their lives are completely suffering. And we're smart enough to realize, what, I can take that piece of advice and I can apply it to other elements of my life, and I can be that much better.
Yes, we're talking the mental mind gym, myself and Jon Andersen this morning. In a couple minutes ago, we got a guy who's proven that sometimes our biggest struggles become our greatest superpowers. David Laughead is coming up with Zen Care Express in a few moments. But Johnny,
real quick, this whole video, I love this because this video is a perfect demonstration of this saying that I have. If a man trained his brain like he trained his chest, he'd have whatever he wants, and that's what this video is about.
Yes. Well, and what I enjoyed about this conversation topic, Johnny, was that, again, we grew up in the era of the gym being a place where you make your muscles strong, which is fine. Society's defined it as that. We are working within the lab here to redefine the idea of the gym, which is why I like that, which is the mind gym, because the gym can be a place where you get your emotions in check, your relationships in check, your physiology in check, your physical strength in check, your emotional, everything. So I like the idea that the mind gym, and it includes specific micro practices that strengthen what neuroscientists call your executive attention network, the brain system that allows you to focus on what matters and filtering out those distractions. And then, John, emotional regulation. Go after, brother. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because this 5 minutes is, the video said it helps with burnout, helps with productivity, all these things. Well, think of it like this. Your brain is only going to have the ability to hear so much in a day.
Yes.
So the idea is to take that time and get out or shut down the voices, if you will.
Yes.
Or the noise that is using part of that bandwidth.
Yes.
So if you can basically get rid of the bad and keep the good in, you're using your bandwidth for productivity. You're using it for focus. You're using it for moving ahead. You're using it for clarity.
Yes.
And that's because burnout comes from too much being shoved down the pipeline too quickly. That's why the average man burns out very quickly. And if you look, he doesn't really have much on his plate.
Yeah.
He's just burning out because he's got a bunch of goofy shit running around.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And the mind gym includes these brief visualization exercises that activate your stress response in a controlled way, teaching your nervous system to recover more efficiently and identifying reinforcing practices. So the research shows that how we see ourselves, our core identity, dramatically influences our behavior under pressure. And here's where it gets really cool, man. The mind gym includes specific self-talk protocols, strengthening what psychologists call your performance identity. And brother, you do it every single morning, and so do I. I know you do it when you sit in and count yourself in the morning, and I do it as I'm having my coffee. And it's crazy, man, because I've been having this awareness around this as you count yourself in. And I do it a little differently. I have my cup of coffee and I read, and I can tell you, man, by the second cup of coffee, and as my reading kind of like my morning reading goes down, it's incredible how clear my brain becomes, how I visualize the day. And as I'm sitting there in my first hour, Johnny, I'm curious if you too, I actually see my day go through my whole brain by the time I go to bed. So by the time my morning routine starts, and when I get to the gym, I've actually played my whole day in my brain.
A little premeditation, baby, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, because now your body's just got to act it out. The plan's already set.
That's exactly it, right?
Yeah.
So, and
what, it's almost like a game plan for a hockey game or a football game.
Yes. Yes.
Of course, there's going to be audibles, but you understand that you're supposed to be moving this direction.
Yes. Yeah.
Here's a trippy thing that I've been doing. I don't know if I shared with you. I've been trying to eliminate gravity from my morning quiet time. Right? Did I share that with you?
No, tell me.
Okay. So when I sit in a chair, I realize that it's actually gone 2 steps. So I sit in a chair, I have my thinking chair, which is great for my conscious thinking. I realize there's a difference. When I want to get it outside of my conscious thinking, I've got to eliminate little distractions, such as I get in there and I fidget. It might take me 2, 3, 4 minutes to find that comfortable spot. Now, part of that is because I've always got muscles that are a little bit, in recovery, they're aching. And so what I did is the first step was just, okay, I'm going to lay on the ground, right? Well, forgive me. I actually went to one of the guest rooms and laid on the bed. And as I laid on the bed, I quickly got comfortable, which means I quickly started to count my way in. I said, okay, there's something here. But then I realized that I could actually, I was starting to get into this 30, 40 minutes, which is great. But I'm like, God, I feel like I should be, using that time even more effectively. So one of the things that I've been doing outside of my meditation was I'm doing just different, call it stretches or positioning to try to keep my spine the way I want to. Because as we get older, I find myself, fucking tipping over. You know what I mean? Like I stand up, Terry's like, honey, stand up. I didn't even realize that I'm a little tipped over. You know what I mean? Like an old fucker.
Yes.
Yes. It's because not my lower back, it's my thoracic, right? Anyway, funny, so what I started to do, this is crazy. So I started to do my quiet time on the ground with a pillow under my thoracic, right? And what I do is I open up like this. So I'm laying on the ground. I'm totally opened up, which that's kind of weird too, because I feel like I'm really open to the universe. But number 2, it's actually stretching out my upper back, my thoracic, and my chest and my shoulders, which is something I need to do better at. So it's easier for me to stay in longer because I know there's extra benefits of me staying there. So it's almost like I have a reason to stay there and still, and it's like become twice as easy to count my way in.
Oh yeah. That's interesting, man. It's interesting how
it's all mind. It's all fucking mind tweak.
I was just gonna say, man, it's all in your head. Jimmy, let's get to the check-in and let's bring in David Laughead in a minute.
I am capable. I am strong. I will achieve my goals. Today is a new day.
Rather look stupid. Yep. Trying something than actually doing nothing. True story. Well, too many people spend their times and their lives just dodging embarrassment. I don't want to look embarrassed. I don't want to look like a fool. Well, listen, here's the thing. Don't ask the question. Don't try new things. Don't step out of line. Don't take any chances. Yeah, as if you're looking like you don't have it all figured out is the absolute worst that can happen. Well, it's not. Because I'll tell you something right now, guys. You can live with embarrassment. But let's be real. Who the hell actually cares? You hear it all the time from everybody. Nobody actually cares. Nobody's actually watching you as closely as you think, except for your own mirror. Because you're too busy wondering who's watching their every move. Think about it. True fucking story. We're too worried about ourselves. They're too worried about themselves. You know what's harder to live with than looking stupid for trying? Regret. Ask yourself, what could you have said? What other choices could you have made? What's the mediocrity you choose over the fulfillment? So I invite you to ask yourself this, you guys. Ask yourself this. Are you doing nothing because you're too embarrassed that somebody's thinking something? Or is playing it safe and looking smart worth the regrets and the what ifs? What if someday, one day? Yeah, but come on, guys. Let's get after it on this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. All right, let's keep it going here, guys. Let's keep the show rocking and rolling here with our upcoming guests here. We've got David Laughead. Jimmy, let's run the video for Mr. Laughead before we bring it up here in the show here this morning.
What if I told you that today's guest went from struggling in therapy himself to creating an AI therapist that never sleeps? Meet David Laughead, founder of Zen Care Express and the mastermind behind Zenna. By day, he's working in the Pennsylvania State Senate, but by passion, he's revolutionizing how men approach mental health and breaking the stigma.
David, Marty is in. What if I told you guys that today's guest went from struggling in therapy himself to creating an AI therapist that never sleeps? Meet the guy who's proving that sometimes our biggest struggles become our greatest superpowers, and he's got the AI bot to prove it. David Laughead joining us this morning on Mornings in the Lab. David, I got to ask you, how's the last name pronounced, brother?
Yeah, it's Laughead.
Laughead, thank you for correcting that for me while I've dropped it out. I had my AI do your words there for you. But how are you, brother? Where are you joining us from today?
I am joining you from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah, just up the road from Marty.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 hours. Yeah, I'm in Maryland, PG County, right outside of DC.
Okay.
Not really, but kind of up the road there. So David, you're a former frat president and student body leader. You had your own tough times in therapy, which sparked you to create something that's now helping thousands.
Yes.
Dig into that, brother.
Yeah. So growing up, I had loved ones and friends, and myself included, suffer from mental health disorders. And I saw that the system and society was going against them. The system, with the system, it takes months and weeks to get a therapist. A lot of the resources just aren't helpful in society. You have this stigma that, especially for men, that men can't seek mental health. We have to man up. So in 2023, I started Zen Care Express with the goal of providing affordable, accessible, and reliable mental health resources. So in 2023, I started with online therapy, Reiki, and yoga. And then this year we started our AI bot, Xena. And with Xena, we're trying to break the stigma with that and help people that might not want to see a therapist.
So typically, I think folks think about, men often think that therapy is, quote unquote, at least we're trying to break the stigma here, that it's quote unquote just for women. Yet you have an AI named Xena, which might just be a game changer, and it's not lost upon me that it stems from the word Zen. Is there anything that's linked to that whole thought process, David?
No, there actually isn't. I just want to come up with a creative name.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I started Xena, yeah.
And was it purposely a female name? I'm curious about that.
Well, I will say in my experience as a guy, I do think that I have a better time explaining myself to a female than a male. And I think that women are just more nurturing. So that's kind of why I was fine with Xena, even though it could come off as a female name.
What's interesting about that is we had AJ Zegler, our mental performance coach. Johnny, Marty, if you remember the conversation last week, and AJ was sharing with us that what he found is that, contrary to what David said, is that he couldn't find another men therapist for him to talk to, and other men that want to talk to a man. So I'm quite struck, David, that you yourself are like, I prefer, and no judgment. It's this idea of sitting down and preferring to speak to a female instead of a male. If I wanted to talk to a male bot, like a David bot, do I have that choice, or is it just the female voice, the Xena, and that's how it works?
Yeah, the bot itself, it's not gender, it's gender neutral. And with our bot, we actually we do white labels, so we can name the bot anything we want.
Oh, so we could make it a John bot. Yeah,
we could.
And a Marty bot.
Or a Keith bot, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Quick question, brother. So a minute ago, you had mentioned, men are supposed to just man up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is your position on, obviously the therapy has a great place for many people, right? So do you think that a man should man up and try to take care of himself, which may help his mental position? Or do you think that that just telling a man he's got to man up and try is too much?
Yeah. Well, I think healing is this, it takes a lot of strength. I'm still on my own healing journey.
I totally get it. Healing is it, but I'm just talking about a man who's sitting on the couch saying, I can't. He's not eating right. He's not doing anything for his movement or physiology. He has literally just quit. So is it too much to tell that guy to man up and try to do something for yourself, because that might actually help you? Or is that too much when you say, because you use the word man up?
Yeah, no, I think that, no, I think that a man should man up to, work on himself, not only for himself, but for the people around him and for his community.
You know, it's intriguing.
That's perfect. I love to hear that, brother, because I think a lot of this therapy thing is becoming too much, where it's like, I believe, this is just my position, is that therapy is becoming so popular, which is great to help the people that are actively trying and not making any progress. But I feel like there's this fleet of people who are, they've just wrapped themselves. They've put walls around themselves that they can't. They're not trying. And then they go to a therapist and they have the same problem. Their problem is that they're not trying. They have to actually be able to try before they're going to make any progress, therapist or not. So I think that my opinion, I think there is a certain level of man up. You got to try. If you're not trying, it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to be the same spot you were yesterday.
Marty, I see you nodding.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, I was going to say I agree as well. At the end of the day, the therapist, you can't rely on that for the rest of your life. Now, the therapist can steer you in the right direction and help you, of course. That's amazing. But it's up to you, even just like getting fit, just like, changing your financial situation. At the end of the day, it's always up to you. So I'm right there with you, Johnny.
I think you guys are full of shit. I do. I don't agree with any of you guys, actually. You Laughead, you Marty, and you Johnny. I think you're full of shit, because I think what you guys are doing is perpetuating the man up theory that is wrecking men. And what I mean by it is that when we don't define man up, we're telling the man, Johnny, to go back to what you and I were raised with, which is put your emotions in a box.
But didn't I just define man up with hold on, I defined man up with the word try.
No,
I said try and man up together. If you can't connect those dots, brother, come on. I said, even when I was asking the question, man up, does a man need to try? Trying is all I'm asking. That's what man up should be reduced to. Are you trying?
Okay. So I
forgive you, brother, because you were head down looking to get ready for the next segment, so you weren't listening. I understand.
and I said the therapist can steer you in the right direction, which is amazing too. I didn't shit on therapy at all.
Yeah, no, and obviously I'm a huge proponent and fan of therapy. Where I get concerned, and I hear you, Johnny, on the try, and I like that, and I love, and maybe, Johnny, it's a word we have to adopt here in the lab, like we're trying to wipe out someday, one day, and yet, because I don't like when people they can't wrap their head around those three letters of trying. It's like, well, fucking try, man. And I don't know. I know, and I don't know if it is so. And here's where I think it's a little bit of BS, because I don't know if trying is linked to manning up. I think manning up. When I hear man up, I hear 1970.
Man up. And 100%, and I agree 100% in our conversation. But obviously with David, I reduced it all the way back to trying, because I don't want to. Realistically, this is what he does.
Yes.
So I'm asking him, does he say? I was really just, there's a question directed to him. Does he believe, which he does not believe, that therapy replaces the try? Because if that's, I'm totally against that.
Yes.
A person has to try before they can do anything. And then Marty came in with, look, once you're trying, maybe you're moving in the wrong direction, so the therapist will put you in the right direction. But I think the man up, because David said man up, right? So I was taking man up and bringing it to the simplest thing because let's be honest, there are people on the fucking couch with that bag of fucking Cheetos watching that shitty TV, and they're saying, I can't.
I hear you. Yes.
Try to stand your fat ass up.
Yes.
If you're sitting there with that Cheeto saying, I can't, that's what I'm getting at. Are you trying?
Yeah.
And a try can be the simplest little thing.
I agree. And I guess David, sorry, man, you're caught in the crossfire with all that.
Sorry,
I'm apologizing. But I guess what I'm saying, David, where I get concerned, strong word, is you're coming from a place of help and you're perpetuating help. When I hear the word man up, it just makes me a little bit concerned. Right. So when I hear,
but in essence, we're taking man up and we're reducing it for
I don't disagree with you,
generations of today.
But Johnny, without context, somebody just jumping in and hearing that, it just erases everything we're talking. So I agree with you, Andersen. Yes, try. But when Laughead jumps in and just says, man up, I get, oh no, because it just and I don't think that's what David meant, because David's like, well, no,
that's 100% why we asked the question. 100%.
100%. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. You got Keith, Johnny, Marty, and our guest David Laughead. David's like, what the hell did I walk in here for this morning?
I think the biggest thing, I will say this, I do have a little bit more tough love when it comes to mental health, just kind of like John. I think you need accountability.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
For me, I have depression, I have anxiety. And when I'm depressed, I try to find, healthy coping mechanisms. I go for a walk, listen to music. I might go out into nature, go to the river. I don't like to sit on the couch and just, and people, you'll have bad days, but you can't have bad weeks or bad years. Because like I said, and you have to think about, yourself, but the people around you and your community.
100%.
You can just give up. And I don't want to say man up, but take accountability. And if you're having these feelings, I understand that, as men, it might be awkward to see a therapist, or, it might be awkward to work on yourself. You don't want to seem girly. You don't want to seem, you want to be masculine, you want to be alpha. But you are, hurting yourself more, and you're hurting the people around you more. They say that less than 1 in 4 men will seek therapy.
I hear David.
They say that men are 3 times more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol. So that's what I'm saying. People turn to those unhealthy and violence. So men turn to these unhealthy coping mechanisms, which in turn, put themselves even further down the hole and affects everyone else.
Yes. Yeah. David, I love everything you're standing for, brother. And I want to continue the conversation with you. Can you stick around for another 12 minutes with us?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to do
real quick. One more thing I want to say, brother.
Yeah.
So I get your thing with context.
Yes.
But
yes,
there was a little trickery in what I was saying here.
Yeah.
Because how often do I talk about these very small non-negotiables? Because once you take the first step, God damn it, you almost always want to take the second.
100%.
So when we attach man up to try, guess how many people are going to take that fucking bag of Cheetos, put it to the left, stand up and go, fuck, that felt pretty good. Maybe I'll take a step.
Yes.
That felt pretty good. Maybe I'll take another step.
Yes.
All because we've kind of fucking twisted man up into try. So most people want to say they manned up, most men. Well, if man up is just trying, and somehow trying turned into actually taking some action, look how many men we've helped.
I can live with that, Johnny. I can embrace the rephrasing of the word. And actually, maybe there's some merch there, Johnny. It's taking a shirt and says man up and scratching it out and put just try. Because that's all we're asking you, right? We're saying just try. And you know what? You're going to fall, and we're here to pick you up, right?
Brother, my reading every day is a 1 fucking page non-negotiable.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know what? And that's manning up for you, isn't it? Because you've struggled
100%. I have to fucking try, and I'll get a page every day. Usually it'll turn into more.
Love that.
But
love that.
If we told that guy with the Cheetos, you got to go walk for a mile, he'd stay with the fucking Cheetos in his lap.
Yeah.
You told him he needed to stand up, he can do that.
Yeah. David, I'll tell you right now, man, you are built for this show. What you bring to the table and the kind of content we talk about, you are built for this. So I want to bring you back and keep the conversation going. Okay, brother? Yeah. We're going to do the fit tip with C. Marty, and we're going to come back and keep the chat happening with David Laughead. And he's also a senator, or he's also in the government too. So let's talk about that. All right. Let's do it, Marty.
All right, let's do it, man. That was honestly a great conversation. I wish I could have put more in there, but it's all good. But we got the fitness tip for today. Listen. There's no such thing as you don't have time. There's no such thing as you're too busy for your fitness. You have time. You just didn't make it a priority. Is work a priority? Is your business a priority? If you spend 8, 10, 12 plus hours daily on that business, you've made it a priority, right? You can spend your time doing something else, but that probably wouldn't be wise, right? So take that same approach to your fitness. You can prioritize 30 minutes, 40, 45, an hour. You heard Johnny just say it's a non-negotiable for him to read 1 page a day, right? And when you take that step, you're going to want to do more. I'm actually going to steal that, Johnny. Thank you for that. but prioritize the fitness. Let me check your screen time. You scrolling TikTok, Instagram. Some of y'all, say you're networking on LinkedIn, but you just on there BSing, spending a lot of time on there, not really being effective. So take some of that time, put it towards your fitness so you can excel in business, excel in your family, excel in everything else in your life. Health is a priority. You got to take care of yourself so you can take care of everything else and everyone else. That's the fitness tip for today.
Tip of the day, you always have time. We talk about it on the show every day. You hit the snooze button, you're 9 minutes behind. That's the default. Apple's giving you the chance to shorten it or extend it, or just don't even fucking hit the snooze button altogether. That's what we encourage you not to do here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We got David Laughead joining us this morning. By day, he's working in, guys, let's not hold it against him, the Pennsylvania State Senate. But by passion, he's revolutionizing how men approach mental health. David, I got to ask, man, you go from government to private therapy with AI. Talk about your government experience, David, before we dig into what's really moving you with your passion. Talk about the government experience a little bit.
Yeah, so I went into government at first because when I was 18, thinking about what I want to do the rest of my life, I knew I wanted to help people. And I thought going into government would be the best way to do that. So I went to school for political science. I got a job at the state capitol. And then I found out that government is really slow. And
hold on. How old are you, brother? How old are you?
26.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe this isn't the route. So that's when 2 years ago I started my business. And so, during the day I work at the Senate, and then at night I work on my business. I'm hoping to soon be full-time with my business.
Good for you, brother.
For now, yeah.
What's up, man? Yeah.
Good for you. David, I want to ask you something on a personal level. I have an 18-year-old son. Johnny's got some young daughters. Marty's a couple years older than you are. You're clearly a leader. John Marty, this guy was a student body president, fraternity president, starting a business, works in government. Clearly, you are a leader. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's clear to me. Yet, and I'm purposeful at this. Yet, you just shared with us a number of minutes ago. You battle depression. You battle anxiety. There are many leaders out there who are battling the same things that you battle. Yet, as a 26-year-old man, you have found the courage to talk about it. Yet, help other men, dude. It's exceptional. Like how did you arrive at that yourself? And what kind of advice do you give to somebody like Marty, who's a couple years on you, or my son who's 18, or some of the men who are sitting on the couch? Is it as simple as try, or what advice would you have for an aspiring leader or a leader who was stuck like you, David?
Well, yeah, let me give you a little background. So when I was in college, I was in the middle of nowhere. And I knew I wanted to go to therapy, or, with my depression, anxiety, I was like, I can't live this way. I can't wake up and be depressed and not want to live. And I can't be anxious. So I looked for a therapist in my college town, and there was one therapist available for me. And she had a 3-month wait. So I booked the appointment, waited 3 months, and then ended up not seeing her. She canceled on me that day. So I really had to go
the day
myself.
Up.
Yeah, the day up.
Jesus Christ.
That's
so I went about my own way, and I really started walking a lot. And I was walking about 10,000 steps a day. I spent a lot of time with myself and understanding myself. And it really helped me doing that inner work, that shadow work. It helped me learn who I am and why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And I was able to work on that. I always like to say, I have a relationship now with my own mind. If I'm having negative thoughts, I can say, okay, why are we having those negative thoughts?
Yeah.
And how do we move forward with that? So I really kind of just started my own healing journey. I had no idea what to do. Like I said, growing up, I have loved ones, family, and I grew up in Philadelphia. There's a lot of people with mental health disorders. It wasn't really taught to me. So I used my own practices to start the business. And like I said, with the Zen Care Express, we offer, even yoga classes, Reiki, hypnotherapy, because I really do think it takes your body, mind, and soul to heal, and you have to heal your whole self to truly heal. So I think for what I would say for leaders is really to start that healing process and it's different for everyone, but find what helps you the most. Like I said, for me, it's walking, listening to music, going out in nature. Sometimes I sit by the river, listening to music, and I really just sit with myself. And I think that's what is so scary for a lot of people, is to sit with themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, it's you versus you. So like we were saying earlier with therapy, like Marty was saying, that the therapist can help you. And I think a little bit there's like a misconception with therapy. We want the therapist to fix us.
Yeah, yes.
That's not
you want the answer, right? You're searching for the answer. You want to walk into the clinic.
David.
Yeah. So I think, now if I were to tell someone, if they said, I want to go to therapy, like, what should I do? I would say, do your inner work first. Figure out what is
real quick. Can I just jump in there real quick? What you're saying, brothers, it's so good, but I think people hear inner work and they don't quite know how to connect the dots to that. Right. And so let's distill this. Let's really simplify. Think of it like this. Most men, I of course I speak for men, I'm a man. They don't think enough. They don't spend time thinking. They don't. So when you say inner work, what is it? Spending time with yourself, no distractions. You're thinking about you. You're thinking about your problems, letting your mind kind of go within, the places that it needs to be a better you. Most men get up and they're just kind of like following distractions. Yeah. They're following shiny objects all fucking day. Yes. They don't say, okay, this is my time.
Yes.
Like every morning I have that time where it's just fucking me and it quiets shit down. If I didn't have that, fuck, man, by 8 o'clock, the noise would be so fucking loud. I'd be all fucking tweaked out.
Yep.
And so what David's saying, the inner work, shadow work, hear all these fucking terms that people understand. Spend some time thinking, just you and your thoughts with all distractions removed.
Well, Marty, so I'm struck by David. Like, I mean this is a compliment, David, the maturity you bring to the table. And what I mean by that is that I got to think that perhaps your folks or some folks that are a little bit older than you would be thinking, and I mean this with love and respect, like, what's wrong with that fella? Why is he spending so much time in his own head? When you're like, no, that's what's wrong with you guys, because you guys are all busy chasing shiny objects. I'm actually pretty strong in my head. And I love that you're flipping the script on that. Marty, I see you nodding away because it's so true, isn't it, Marty?
Yeah, well, just like David said, David and Johnny, a lot of guys don't spend time thinking. That's guys and girls, like everybody. Most people don't spend time thinking. They don't spend time trying to improve their situation and better themselves. So you have no choice but to look crazy to them. And I think when you get over that hump of looking crazy, when you don't care, like, I don't give a fuck what they say. That's when you start to improve and heal.
Yep, exactly. Let's so David, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do the lifestyle tip with Jon Andersen. I'm gonna come back and close up with you for the last few minutes. Okay, does that work for you, David?
Yep, awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. And Marty, you got to rock and roll, brother?
I'm gonna stay a couple more minutes.
Awesome, cool. That's brilliant. Okay, so let's do this. We're gonna do the lifestyle tip with Johnny, and we're gonna come back and wrap up some conversations with David Laughead joining us from Zen Care Express. But before we do that, we're gonna make it sound just like this. Let's do it, Johnny.
All right, check this out. There's so many men out there who sacrifice their health to make a bunch of money, but then they end up sacrificing that money to bring back their health. So think about that. It doesn't have to be this way. And the crazy part about it is, if you really want to make some dough, you can make a whole lot more dough as you're actually taking care of yourself. So think about it. If you subscribe to that first theory, you're not going to take care of the ones you love as you get older, because you're going to do everything. You're going to be doing everything in your power to take care of yourself just to live or survive. That's why it's important to start leveling up in all areas of your life from the jump. Take care of yourself. No, it's not selfish. It's only selfish to you bastards that are not going to the Little League games because you're too selfish to get up early to create the time to do what you need to do. The crazy part is, once you actually get up a little earlier to create the time to invest in yourself, you're going to get so much better everything you do, more focus, more energy. You're going to create time. Now you've actually got extra time to give to the ones you love. So don't get caught in this trap of giving your health away to make money, because the tables will return very quickly. You'll end up giving that money away to bring back your health when it doesn't have to be that way. And the best part about it is you can have a better quality of life. You can make more money. You can take better care of the ones you love if you subscribe to the formula where you're focused on you. One of the most selfish things you can do is not focus on yourself first. Do it in a non-selfish way to the ones you love. Don't take time from them. Make the sacrifice to focus on you. Not doing that is one of the most selfish things you can do. You level up, your business will level up, your relationships will level up, everything levels up. And this is what I do. I coach this. I help people, especially business owners, get better at everything they do. And it's a great process. Everything gets better. So if you want to talk to me more about it, come into the DMs and LinkedIn, say, hey, we'll shoot the shit a little bit. And at very least, I'm here to help everybody. So whether we work together or not, I'm going to send you away with something that's going to get you moving in the right direction. I've got a ripping little mental, it's called the Monster Mindset. It's basically a mental handbook. And this little handbook can get you mentally moving in the right direction because it's all upstairs. All starts here. That being said, don't subscribe to the first theory, because if you give away your health to make money, the tables will turn and you end up right where you started. Rock and roll.
Your health to make money. Biggest mistake you could make. True story. Jon Andersen this morning. The Lifestyle Tip, 8:45 Eastern Time. We got David Laughead with us today, the founder of Zen Care Express and the mastermind behind Zen, a 24/7 AI mental health companion. We're wrapping up our chat with David here this morning with a couple questions here before we say goodbye to David here today. David, I got to ask, man, with tell Keith and Marty, what's been the most ridiculous response that you have gotten when telling other men about the platform? Young up and coming man who's developing some great stuff, entrepreneur. What's the most ridiculous response you've gotten?
That mental health isn't real.
Come on.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Marty?
Yeah.
My first question is, what fucking backwoods neighborhood, were you in?
Yeah.
Actually, I've even had female tell me too that they're like,
well, those females have to exist in those hillbilly neighborhoods too. I want to know where you were. Were you back up? Were they cooking up moonshine where you were doing this?
Yeah, no. You would actually be shocked how many people are against it.
Were they wearing a certain color of underwear? Was it red or blue? All joking aside, but
yeah, no. There's actually a few people. Yeah.
Yeah, Philly's crazy. People in Philly are crazy.
So yeah, and I'm like, we are emotional beings, just like we're physical beings. I mean, if I were to go around and say physical health's not real, they would call me lazy, and they would have a lot worse to say about that.
Yeah. So
it's crazy. Real quick on that level, drugs. And I said that it's kind of a joke where they cooking up moonshine, but people that get really involved in drugs, it removes all of the parts of the person that we're talking about. So someone that's like addicted to meth or addicted to some drug, these parts of them, it doesn't even exist. It's almost like dislocated.
Yeah. Yeah. So David, how do you spend a lot of time promoting yourself on Instagram, TikTok? That's where you prioritize, your reach. But I got to ask, man, how are you teach myself, Marty and Johnny, who are building this big morning show for men? How do you make these mental health conversations engaging and entertaining on these platforms that are known for quick scroll, stopping conversations and content? What are you doing, David, to stand out?
Yes, if I'm being honest, my marketing could be a little better. Right now I do a lot of just more like emails and outreach, through ads and emails. But I am working now to kind of create a platform where I can talk more about mental health. This is actually my first podcast, so I'm hoping to continue doing more. Maybe come back on the show to talk about mental health and Zen Care Express. TikTok, I'm still trying to find a way. I think that mental health, it's, I'm trying to think of the way I want to go about it. Because
TikTok's all about the hook, brother. It's all about the hook in TikTok.
Yeah. And, mental health, people take it one way or another. So I'm trying to think of the way I want to put my message out there still.
I got to be honest there, brother. I want to call some props to you here. And I feel like you're an old soul trapped in a 26-year-old body.
Yeah, a little bit.
I find myself wanting to walk.
That's a compliment. Old soul's a compliment.
Yeah. Like I find myself wanting to walk towards you with love because I can see the mission you're on and I can see the kind of change that you're on. And I love how you communicate your vision. I love how you get on the show here and communicate with us. I know you had mentioned depression and anxiety. I got to ask you straight up. Were you anxious coming on the show here this morning with us?
Very, yeah.
And I'm hopeful as we've gone through the conversation with you, has that anxiety subsided?
Oh,
I don't know who froze.
I'm sorry. David,
say that again, David.
Yeah.
David, as you've proceeded with us, have we helped your anxiety subside a little bit?
Definitely, yeah. From when I first started, I was very nervous, but I don't want to, I was super anxious this morning, but I also don't want to just not go about opportunities and stuff because of being anxious. So it's really important for me to ground myself and to go through it.
Well,
hey, David, it helps me with something like that. Just to give you one of my plays out of my playbook, I'm doing something for the first time. I remind myself, this is my first time I'm doing this. I'm supposed to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, David, too, and Johnny, I want to bring it back to how we started the conversation. Because Marty, Johnny, David was anxious this morning. He had two choices, right? Actually, three. He could do what some guys do. They just ghost us and don't even show up. He could have showed up today and manned up, meaning tried. And look what happened. He did. And he fucking rocked it. Right. And I love that because you were anxious and we got a little heated with conversation. I was challenging you a little bit and maybe the anxiety was there. And Johnny's like, man, try. And look at this, 27 minutes later, you keep trying. And I'm going to make an assumption here as you're walking out of here. I'm going to assume your anxiety is gone. You've had some fun. You've had a great experience. I'm making assumptions, of course, but the reality is that you tried. And what was the worst that was going to happen? And that's what I love about this conversation, David.
Yeah, the worst that could happen is I did horrible on the show, but like I said, going into it, I'm having these negative thoughts that are making me anxious, and I have to, have that relationship with my brain to say, like, okay, calm down, ground yourself, like sit down for a second, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to get arrested. You're not going to be in the hospital. You're not, the worst that's going to happen is you screw this podcast up and then,
let's define screw it up though, brother. I mean, what would screw it up if you came on here and even if you just came on and said, you know what, I'm shitting in my pants. I'm filled with negative voices. That's not screwing it up. You being you is fucking perfect.
I agree.
The only way to have a perfect podcast, or this is Keith, this is a morning show. You're supposed to straighten that out. Jesus Christ.
Well, I just didn't want to interrupt. You were doing
I know. But the only way to fuck it up is to come on here to pretend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then this whole conversation with David is the whole reason the show exists. Walk towards fear, walk towards failure, try, not someday, not one day. Dude, we invited you. You showed up. You're an anxious motherfucker. You probably didn't sleep very well last night. But what did you do? You just keep walking towards failure. And guess what? You didn't fail. It was actually fun.
Yeah. And brother, check this. This is beautiful. To go further on this, brother.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm fucking anxious and I don't even know why.
Yeah.
At least you knew why you were anxious.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, David, leave our audience with a nugget. And what I mean by that is that you're anxious, you walk towards the fear. And what would you say to somebody who's getting up today, starting their day, and they're anxious about walking towards something? What did you do for yourself today to help that dude today? What did you do? Just got after it. Tried.
Just kind of like Nike. I said, just do it. I also, like I said, I think find the root causes of why you're anxious.
Yes.
Or, why you're upset, and then, talk it out. So like I said, this morning I woke up, I'm like, how am I going to do on this podcast? Am I going to screw up? Am I going to, do horrible? And I have to say, why do I think I'm going to screw up? And what happens if I do screw up? So I think you have to talk yourself through it.
Love it. And I'll tell you something, brother. Our colleague Maddie Roof is jumping in from the community here with a comment that I want to leave with before I go for the rapid fire with you, which is this. David definitely did not suck. He tried. He nailed it. And that's all that we all want as humans, right? Is trying. Dude, you've got it. Keep going. David Laughead, you are awesome, man. Let's do some rapid fire with you, brother, before we get you on with your day. David, coffee or energy drinks during your late night coding sessions?
Energy drinks.
Most embarrassing therapy-related Google search you've done?
Wait, say it again.
Most embarrassing therapy-related Google search you've ever done?
Are there therapists in China?
I don't know if I want to know the answer to that. If Xena could have any celebrity voice, who would it be?
Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, there you go. Biggest mistake you made in your first month as a founder?
I hired too many therapists.
What?
Lost some money on that.
One mental health myth you wish you could debate from the internet forever?
That mental health isn't real.
Oh, yes. And brother, if you had to write a brutally honest Yelp review of your own therapy experience, the one that inspired you to create Zen Care Express, what would it say and how many stars would you give it?
I would give it 1 star, and I would say thank you for the abandonment issues.
Thank you for the abandonment issues. Oh, man. Dude, you are deep, man. And I got to come back to the Jennifer Aniston question. Dude, you're 26. Aniston's like 80. Why do you love Jennifer Aniston? I'm supposed to love Aniston. Anderson's supposed to love Jon Andersen.
But she's on a timeless show, though, brother.
This is true. Does, yes, and she's timeless looking, too. She's still as hot as she is today as she was when she was 20. So what's the Jennifer Aniston fascination, Laughead?
Yeah, well, actually, she's from my hometown. So growing up, we saw a lot of her posters and stuff around the town. But no, I always loved her.
Awesome.
Hey, brother, I got one little thing I'd like to throw at you, and I think we share a similarity in the fact that you obviously, for your age, you've clearly demonstrated that you're very different, probably from the time you were younger.
Yes,
is what I'm guessing, and I was the same way, and so. When I adapted this kind of inner mantra, it really helped me. And it basically is this: if they're talking behind your back, it means you're already ahead of them. Keep fucking going.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
And as Johnny would also say, David, if they're talking smack, you're on the right track. So that's right. Fun little stack for you too. David, producer Jimmy is encouraging me to ask this one question because we want to create some content for you.
I got to roll out, fellas. I'm
gonna rock and roll, Marty.
David, nice to meet you, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Have a good loop, brother.
All right, Marty's gonna rock and roll and get him out of here. Marty back tomorrow. Love you, bro. Have a good day, pal. Be safe, okay? Marty's gonna rock and roll here. David, I want to ask you this one question because I want to create some content for you, for your channels, and it's gonna go just like this. Answer the question to somebody who says mental health is not real. Awesome. David Laughead joining us this morning from Pennsylvania. Brother, I appreciate you and I appreciate you as a human being and all that you've accomplished so far in your life and all that I know that you're going to accomplish in your life. And I want to leave you with this invite on behalf of myself and Johnny and Marty and the gang. Dude, you're always welcome back here. You're a lab alumni. I hope the next time you come back, you're more nervous than you were today. You're more anxious. I'm saying that with love and joking, but I hope next time you come back, you're less anxious, you're more excited, and that you leave this experience feeling welcomed by myself, John, Marty, and Jimmy here on Mornings in the Lab. Awesome. All right.
Keep fucking kicking butt. You just keep doing what you're doing.
I agree. Take care, David. Look forward to catching up with you later, okay, brother? Take care. All right. David's going to get out of here. Johnny and Keith are going to break it down here, reloading, resetting the second hour of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Johnny, this guy is a warrior. Let's talk a little bit about David Laughead for a quick second. Comments? Warrior? Thoughts? Feedback? 26 years old, man. The guy has experience that I think you and I could only have dreamed of at 26 years old.
Well, I think what it comes down to it, anytime you see someone who, because he's breaking the rules.
Yes.
He's not following the rules of society. And when you find that in somebody, and that's, if you're listening to Dave, that's a compliment. That means that he's going to be doing great things. And if he can continue on that path, especially at his age, only being the age he is, you know, the sky's the limit for this dude.
It really absolutely is, and that's what I'm really excited about. With you know, we got a chance to meet David here today, and I'm appreciative of how, because I was struck. I'm just looking for something here as we're talking here. I was struck by which is why I went through with you guys with the man up comment, because I was struck with that comment coming from a 26-year-old dude. Because typically I hear that from the 40, 50, 60-year-old guy. I just man up, just man up. And I love that you change it, but you added the context around it of trying, right? And because we don't talk enough about the idea of trying. I frankly,
well, if our dads had told us,
yeah,
hey, you need to man up, but guess what? If you try, you're going to find it's pretty fucking easy.
Yes.
It would have had a different meaning, because I basically, I guess you say I realigned that in my mind fucking forever ago. Once I realized all I have to do is have the balls to take the first step, because it's the first step that stops most people. And if I can do what most people don't do, I'm going to get what I want.
That's it. That's exactly it. There you go.
Simple little chain reaction.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Well, listen, we're in the hour 2 of Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. If hour 1 expose those social potholes, hour 2 is turbocharged with some suspension. We got Logan Rae joining us here at the 15-minute mark of the show. We got what else we got here, guys? I got a few things to get into this morning with you guys. I got something for Johnny around aging appropriately. I'm just trying to get myself set up here, Jimmy, with some of my conversations here, guys, this morning. Give me a quick little second here. But before we do that, I want to, Jimmy, let's, I'm going to pull this one up here, pal. I'm just going to go back to this little conversation here, which is, pull it up here right now. Here it is. You ever wonder why some people seem to age in reverse while others struggle with early wrinkles? Well, it turns out that your skin's best defense might be on your plate. I want to talk about some of the food we talk about here in the lab, and we don't eat enough of it perhaps to get rid of wrinkles. And Johnny, it's the science behind polyethanols, the plant-based compounds that protect your skin's collagen, and how certain everyday foods are powerful tools in your anti-aging kit. And
Can I say something before you get deep into this?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah.
But I can say that if for some reason you're not a science person, you want to hear all the rest of the stuff that he's going to talk about in terms of what he's describing what to do. The flip side of this equation is remove the processed foods, and just by the opposite reaction, you're going to get more of what he's about ready to describe.
And he's right. And if you lean into eating more foods like berries, green tea, leafy greens, grapes, cranberries, these things are going to prevent collagen glycation, which is going to make the skin less elastic. So we talk about daily on the show. Get rid of the processed stuff. Number 1, boom. Right after that, it's going to help you feel better, and it's going to make you feel much better. If you start leaning into some of these polyethanol type foods that are found in things like berries, it's going to help your skin as you age feel less. It's going to drop less, frankly, is what's going to happen here. And as Johnny also talks about, that diets that are high in sugar and trans fats, they bind and twist the collagen, leading to sagging, dull and wrinkled skin. So as you're aging, guys and girls, and you're looking at your face and your skin and you're wondering why it's twisted up and sagging and dull and you look like you're dying, well, look at your fucking food you're eating. True story. Right. So it's not only
and then they're eating the wrong food, and then they try to lose weight by limiting that shitty food, which means It's just coming from every fucking direction.
Trans fats also impair skin barrier function, worsen inflammation, and promote oxidative damage, especially in men who already have thicker but oilier skin. So, guys, the odds, the odds are already stacked against us, right? So you want to get into, as you go through your day today, Johnny always talks about getting rid of the processed foods. And what I'm talking about is giving you things to replace it with, right? So you might want to swap those sugary snacks for berries and green tea. They're going to satisfy those sweet cravings. And as Jory used to say when she was on the show, build your plate with that fish, those nuts, those leafy greens, and, reaching for those things on the counter instead of the crappy things that are in the packages are going to help you with those wrinkly skin that is showing up on your body as you're getting older in life. And I can tell you, I am one of those dudes that are aging, and Johnny, I crushed some of this polyethanol stuff last night before I went to bed, brother. Had a little bit of fruit. Good choices.
What I've been doing lately, starting to brothers, so the greens, there's so many ways to do it. So lately, what I've really been digging, I've been taking, 6 ounces of ground beef, putting it into a pan, 2 eggs, right? Then I take a little bit of spinach and I just put it on top. Then I put the lid on and I just let it slowly cook till the eggs are kind of like cooked, but a little bit soft in the yolk. But then that spinach that's on top is like almost sauteed. Put some Celtic salt on there. It's an amazing meal, and it doesn't take much of this leafy green if you're using a nice micronutrient version like spinach.
I've seen that recipe of yours on your videos, man. That looks fucking pretty good, man. That looks really good. I think where I get concerned is when you start throwing the extra stuff in there, I might not know how to stop eating that shit. Like, that looks really good.
Then like when I really want, then I'll take a low carb tortilla.
Yeah.
I'll basically split that down the middle. I'll split because it's just a little pan. It's a single serving pan. Split it down the middle. Now I got myself 2 ground beef, egg, spinach wraps. Oh man. Damn, that's good.
Fuck, I'm getting hungry thinking about it. Hey, coming up, Johnny, we got another 20-year-old coming up in the lab here. We got 29-year-old founder and CEO of Argon Agency, West Palm Beach-based marketing powerhouse specializing in behavioral healthcare. Dude, this woman, Johnny, went from a former teen mom, built 7-figure business from scratch without partners or funding over the past 5 years. So I think she might have accomplished a few things in her lifetime here. Coming up in a few moments is Logan Rae. She founded Argon Agency in the pandemic in August 2020. But before we do that, guys, I invite you to drop us a comment, drop us some feedback on the Mornings in the Lab hotline. 431-300-3005 is live 24 hours, 7 days a week. Tell us what you have to say, and you can even phone in. We'll bring you into the show here.
Did you have to maneuver to get that phone number? That's actually going to be pretty easy to remember for people.
It's actually a pretty good number, eh? No, I
got lucky. It just came to us. No shit.
It absolutely did. Yeah, I found myself.
Brother.
I got the old number here, and I had to hit refresh, Johnny, when it gave me the numbers to select. And I was like, oh, I like that one right there, 431-300-3005. Give us a call, send us a text, leave us a voicemail if you want to get involved with the show. And, of course, on Fridays, we got Free for All Fridays coming up, which we are continuing to define along the way. Jimmy, let's get our guest. Let's get the opener set up here, Jimmy. I'll run a little hook here, and then we'll bring Logan Rae up here in the lab here. So Logan is the 29-year-old.
Give me a piss in the transition, brother. Give me a piss in the transition.
All right, so we're gonna do this. I'm gonna do the hook here. Johnny's gonna go for a piss, and we're gonna bring Logan up here. Jimmy's gonna sound like this. Logan Rae is a 29-year-old founder and CEO of Argon Agency, a West Palm Beach-based marketing powerhouse specializing in behavioral healthcare and addiction treatment marketing. Jimmy, let's run it.
What if I told you that today's guest once wanted to be a brain surgeon, became a teen mom instead, and now uses neuroscience to hack marketing campaigns? Meet Logan Rae, the 29-year-old CEO who built a 7-figure marketing empire from scratch. With a neuroscience degree from Florida Atlantic University, she literally thinks differently about consumer behavior. From teen motherhood to Forbes contributor, proving that our biggest challenges become our greatest superpowers. She specializes in behavioral healthcare marketing.
Hey, joining me this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, Jimmy. Let's bring her up and let's bring her into the conversation. Or not. Oh, Logan, we got to get you up on vertical as well. I see you on the horizontal feed there, Logan, but if I get you up on vertical, that would be great. If you look in the instructions there, we sent you all the details there to get you into the both feeds. And while Logan's doing that, Jimmy, I got to tell a funny story, man. So I know we always joke about, Rufy, are yours up on this one? I know we often talk about men being bad with instructions. Well, Jimmy, remember that picture I sent you this morning with my desk here? I'm building a new setup here in the lab. Well, the young man, the beast, you know the beast, Jimmy, Carter. So Cart's, Johnny's listening right now. Johnny's gonna get a laugh at this, man. So Carts went to get us a desk yesterday for the lab, and and from IKEA, yeah, true story. And he goes on to the IKEAs and he buys the desk, and then about an hour later, Jimmy, I get the old, hey Dad. I'm like, yeah. He goes, you want to come down here look at this thing? I'm like, sure. So I come down, and Johnny, he's like, I think I bought the wrong tabletop. I'm like, no, I don't think you did. We looked through the instructions, Johnny, and he's one of our guests that missed the middle page of the instructions. So he. I said, Carter, right here. He's like, I said, Bees, if you would have came on the show with me and Andersen, you wouldn't have made it on, and Andersen would be fucking drilling you right now because you couldn't read the instructions properly. So it was the pure IKEA thing. Goes to IKEA, opens up the instructions, skips over. I'm like, Carts, just like I was teaching you how to do Lego when you were a young kid, you got to follow the instructions, man. So that's exactly how.
Well, you know, there's something about those IKEA instructions. You actually have to pay attention to where it's not always easy to navigate because it's like the page 1, page 2, and it's not like a flip the page to page 2 thing.
Yes, exactly. Logan Rae joining us this morning from Argon Agency, marketing maven. Logan, what's shaking? Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys?
Good. How are you? Where are you joining us from today?
I'm in West
Palm Beach, Florida.
Yep.
Nicely done. How's the weather this morning? How'd you wake up this morning? To sun, rain, clouds, or what did it look like today for you?
So it's always sunny, and then it does that like 3 p.m. thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Oh, totally awesome.
There you go. So Logan, you went from wanting to cut open brains to wanting to get inside people's heads through marketing. I gotta wonder, man, was there a specific moment when you realized that scalpels and spreadsheets weren't that different?
Oh, I mean, I've always been into marketing. It's kind of funny. When I was in school, I used to work for an orthopedic surgeon, and majority of the time that I was, working with them, I was doing a lot of marketing. So it had a lot of crossover. And then even getting into my side of marketing, it's always not always, but it's mostly healthcare related that we're, able to do.
Yeah. So, Johnny, I got to set it up again here, man. So, Logan Rae is joining us today. She's the CEO of Argon Agency, marketing maven. She's got a neuroscience degree, Andersen, built a 7-figure agency without taking a dime from investors. She specializes in marketing for mental health care and addiction treatment facilities, industries where one wrong move can literally be life or death. I got to wonder, man. So, you go from... what brought you here today? Like, not to my show, but how did you arrive at, your journey in life?
I think I asked myself that question.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know. I can't answer that. I take it day by day. I try to have as much fun as possible. And I think that's kind of what landed me where I am. If you can wake up every day and do something that you're passionate for, it eventually leads you.
So you basically just followed your interest.
Yeah. I think
that's the best way to do it.
That are great. We take on projects that we think are fun. Right now we're kind of getting into I want to say ocean conservation. That's the hot topic right now with I work with. So we're
quick, Logan, do you know how few people, especially at your age, let alone age, just period, wake up and actually have had the balls to follow their interest to make money? So, I mean, I don't know what the percentage is, but I'd be very surprised if I guarantee it's not double digits, probably very low single digits. Well, so you're definitely part of a very small school. So good shit. Keep this going.
And Johnny, I'm wondering, because Logan, you've said that your neurodivergence is your edge. Can you give us some specific examples of how your brain works differently that's led to these major business wins? And maybe that's why you've had the success you've had, because you talk about your neurodivergence being your edge. Talk about that a little bit, Logan.
Yeah. So I think I stopped trying to mimic other people's behaviors or, when you're taught even certain etiquettes, and just lean into the human effect. When I have an idea, I, bring it up full force and I bring it to the table and say, okay, well, what about this angle? Even if it's somewhat controversial, it might be a way to get in front of people that we want to get in front of. So, I mean, if we joke around a lot, I try to create the environment where other people feel comfortable too, to bring up ideas they might feel are like maybe not the most well-founded, or maybe it hasn't been done before and they have some nerves with that. So I think creating the environment where it's like it's okay to be silly, or it's okay to say the silly, the stupid idea, but maybe it's actually the genius idea, and it's something that we are going to execute. So even with myself, even if it's not my idea that's happened, because we create that environment, it encourages others to also kind of come outside as well.
Logan, Jon has talked publicly on this show about his struggles with addiction. I've gone through my own issues as well. I want to ask you, what has been the most ethically challenging marketing situation while you've been growing your business that you've encountered in the addiction treatment space specifically? And then how did you handle it?
That's a really good one. So most of the time we work with ownership that are, in recovery or have been through a program, so they understand it. But occasionally we'll find someone who is just passionate or has been affected by addiction in a different way, and they don't really understand all of the ethics, but they want to achieve, a full facility. So I'm fully trained on compliance, and I work closely with some experts in compliance. So sometimes their ideas fall along the lines of something that can be seen by someone else as harmful. There's a huge thing with patient brokering and the bribery and things like that. So just steering people who haven't worked in the industry for a long time, it's hey, we can't do that. This isn't a bank. You don't give them a lollipop at the end type of thing.
Yeah, because
thing. So keeping it really, really healthcare based. I think a lot of the times too, people forget that you're treating, it's a disease, and there is a healthcare component to it. Even, there's a whole controversial thing with calling them clients versus patients, and giving them, some of that autonomy back. But in the higher levels of care, in the lower levels of care, I believe it's better to start building that confidence. But in the higher levels of care, where you're first coming in and you need that support, I mean, you're a patient. You're going through detox. You're, getting your mind right. Sometimes there's other mental health conditions, which I think right now is a really big thing. Facilities are bringing in higher trained physicians and neuro experts to deal with things that have to do with mental health and not just the substance use. So that's kind of cool. But ethics wise, it's just teaching them hey, we probably, we don't want to say that, we don't want to do that, or we want to hire somebody who isn't mocking the 12 steps or something in their content. So
then how do you balance then this idea of being persuasive while still being ethical, right? So again, so there's folks out there that need the medication, need
so
help.
It's a human effect. That's exactly it. It's hey, okay, you can't keep waking up feeling the way that you're feeling. Something has to change. What's going to be that change? What's the support that you need? Meeting them where they're at, and showing them it doesn't have to be this way. Same thing with the family members. When you're reaching them, it's you're at your wit's end because you're watching your loved one destroy themselves, but you don't know how to support them, and it has to be their choice. So this is the thing too, treatment doesn't work when you force someone. They have to really be ready. And I'm sure, that firsthand. It's if you're not ready to do something in your life, you can go, you can show up and start, you can be there physically, you can even be sober, but that doesn't mean that you're on the path to recovery.
Yeah. So you built your business without partners or funding. Fascinating to me. And again, we like to speak on this show with our audience about the men that are trying to get started one day, trying to get started someday, or not ready yet, but yet you just went out and got after it. And I got to ask, was there ever a moment where you thought, I just got to go get myself a normal job, and I'm going to give up with this pursuit of my interest? Why did you not just go get a normal job, Logan?
All the time. I think that's literally, I threaten my team with it sometimes too. I'm okay, if you guys don't want to work me either, I'll go get a job somewhere else. But it's one of those things where I don't know, it feels good to do something that's appreciated by others. So there's so much even though it's scary, and the financial liabilities too, and then also holding other people's livelihoods, my decisions affect everyone. Like if I decided to like go rogue and like lose clients, then like I can't pay paychecks. So it's scary, and it's a lot of anxiety and pressure. But if you trust the process, you know, and you kind of lean in, education is so easily accessible these days. And even through watching podcasts like this one, you take tidbits of other people's lives and experiences, and you're able to apply them to what you're currently doing. So I did a lot of that, like a lot of that. And then we're right down the street from a university. So using like my resources to, just get in with other people who have done the thing. Like what was their experience, their lifetimes, different than mine, but maybe I'm having this problem with this. So I go and I get 3 opinions and 1 solution.
Yeah. Yeah. Johnny, Logan talks often in her content, which is what got me curious about her when I was, looking for some guests on the show here. She talks about, she loves sharing the messy middle. I'm curious to know how you define the messy middle, and give us the messy middle story that taught you something huge. How do you define the messy middle?
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, it's what you're looking at right now. I didn't wake up early enough to get to the office, so we're having this conference from my house instead of my setup where I'd normally be. That's the messy middle. Still showed up, still doing the thing, but not exactly as planned. And there's a lot of cases of that. But again, when you go through the process and I like to always call it too, it's a big bite. Like my new office, 7,000 square feet, huge liability. It's a big bite. You make decisions that, you have limited resources for. You have to process that. Like there's like almost like a, because you come up on all the adrenaline and, what you have going on in your brain, and then you have to digest that, process it, and then make clear decisions as you go through that process.
So the messy middle sounds like it's almost like your code word for entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the entrepreneurship, I think, is the messy middle. Startup.
I mean, it's like don't wait for perfection. Don't wait for the right time. Take the step. You take that step, you're going to make some progress. You're also going to make a mess, but from that mess, you're going to learn where the next step should be. So you're constantly, if you're not making a mess, you're really not making any progress.
Well, Johnny, what I take from it too is the messy middle to Logan is back to how we started the show at the beginning here, is the idea of trying. Like so Logan got up today and she's like, I'm not at the office. I maybe wasn't as prepared as I needed to be for the show, but that's okay. I'm going to show up and I'm going to try and I'm going to do the best that I can. And if I suck, I suck. But again, Johnny, she didn't ghost us. She didn't get all stressed out about being perfect. She was like, okay, I'm in the messy middle right now, and this is what it is. And I love that, Logan, because too often, again, the guests and what we try to perpetuate on the show is encouraging guys to get up and just get moving, because when you get moving, you create momentum, just like you did this morning, right? You got up, you came in the show, you have momentum now. Now you head on down to that 7,000. Logan, I got to ask you, man, why the fuck you buying or leasing yourself a 7,000 square foot office? That's not little. That's not little, Logan Rae.
Like to do a lot of things. Yeah. Our team's growing constantly, and we film a lot. So having the space to film in, having the space to, eventually we're going to put a call center in there, but we also do full team trainings, being able to bring in clients, full teams, and train, in our office.
So rather than have to outsource that space, you got it all in house now.
Yep, basically. So it's and we're building a podcast, photo, video studio towards the front. We have a showroom for all our promotional items. That tends to be one of our things. It's funny because sometimes you make a promo item and then you end up wearing it everywhere. But these are my rehab-esque patient slides.
Yes. Well, and you strike me. Good morning, Bernard. I see you there in the comments. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're hanging out with Logan Rae, CEO of Argon Agency. Logan, you said something a few minutes ago, which I think Johnny also drives her, is that you have, because you said big nut. You have this now, the 7,000 square foot office. You know that you have a big lease arrangement every month that you're like, okay, I got to pay the bills on this damn thing, right? I think and I'm gonna suspect there's something inside you that's what also motivates you too, isn't it?
I mean, for sure. You can't just walk away from something like that once you're committed to it. Like that could be, I guess maybe I could. I don't want to say I probably could go get a job and be just fine paying all the liabilities that I have. But I'm not, I don't know. I like the freedom. I mean, technically I feel like I work for the clients, like, even though it's not like a traditional job, but like I pop into their offices from time to time. I'll work from their office for a full day when I feel like it,
Yeah.
It's not the traditional agency sense. And I think that's, it took us 5 years of explaining that to people, but everything's, everybody's caught on. We don't have that super high turnover either that other agencies have.
Interesting. You talk about hiring killers for your team. Keith and Johnny are always hiring folks for our own businesses. What makes someone a killer in your world versus just another marketer? How do you define that?
I think passion and holding space. Like, if they are like, okay, here's the best practices that I know, here's what I don't know, here's what I need to know, like, and they have that vision really clear, I think they're for us.
Interesting. The killers.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that. Hanging out with Logan Rae here. Johnny's going to get out of here in a quick couple seconds. We're going to do some rapid fire with Logan in a minute as well here. Logan, what's one marketing campaign you're secretly most proud of that no one would expect?
I mean, I don't think there's a that no one would expect. I think with me, it's always random. We threw a fight night where we had Greg Hardy, the Texas cowboy guy, his boxing premiere, and Mike Tyson showed up. That was a lot of fun. Right?
Yeah.
Like, we do some random things outside of just rehab. I have a midwife who gave or facilitated a birth on a private beach. That was pretty wild too. Dude,
that's crazy, man.
Anything that I want to do, it just, it comes my way. Like, I've been saying that at one point, I want to dress someone for their Super Bowl walkout, and we're climbing the fence to get there.
Nicely done.
And that's just a random thing. I don't think I'd make any money doing that necessarily, but it just sounds like fun. Like, that's a bucket.
That's awesome. Logan Rae, Keith Jon Andersen on Mornings Live with Keith and friends. We're going to take a quick second, say goodbye to Johnny, and then we're going to do a rapid fire with Logan before we walk out here. Johnny, some closing comments for Logan before you roll, brother?
I just think that what you're doing is great. I think that the fact that you're young and you basically chose to do it your way, I'm cut from the same cloth. I've never had a job. I've always came right out of college, just started businesses, and it's you distill it down, simplify it. You wake up every day and you pursue your interests.
She does.
And that gives you a quality of life that most people will never understand or have. Or I shouldn't say they'll never have, so they'll never understand it. And I think it's great. I think you keep leading by example. Keep kicking ass.
Awesome. Thanks, Johnny. All right, Johnny's going to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Okay, brother? Love you, man. Lots of love to you. We'll see you in the loop tomorrow, brother.
Love you too. Have a good loop.
All right.
Johnny's today.
Johnny's going to get out of here. We're going to do some rapid fire with Logan Rae, the CEO of Argon Agency. Logan, coffee or energy drinks to fuel those pattern recognition sessions?
Energy drinks.
Most overused marketing buzzword that makes you cringe?
Oh, man. Misuse of KPI is a good one. Decision fatigue is another great one, but that's just corporate in general. Or decision paralysis. They use that all the time, sometimes incorrectly as well.
If you had to pick neuroscience textbook or marketing case study for beach reading, what would it be?
That one I don't know. It really depends, like, where the case study is coming from and who's, a lot of the times they're fluff. So let's go with textbook. Biggest guilty pleasure TV show? Right now, Animal Kingdom, but Grey's Anatomy, hands down.
Nicely done. Morning person or night owl entrepreneur?
All the time.
One word to describe your management style? What's that?
I don't know about that one. Human.
Love it. Favorite way to celebrate a big client win? Logan Rae.
I don't know. I follow their lead. Whatever they're interested in doing, we do.
Looking back at teen mom Logan versus CEO Logan today, if you could sit down with your younger self for 5 minutes, what would you tell yourself today?
Oof. I don't know. I definitely think I was a better mom at 17 than I would have been if I became a mom today, for sure. So maybe she needs to talk to me instead.
Interesting. And more importantly, what do you think you would tell about staying true to who you are?
Again, it comes so easily. It's just follow your integrity. Don't do things that make you feel funky.
You know what I love about you, Logan, is how much you simplify it.
Thank you.
I know I do, because in my experience, too many people overcomplicate things. You get up, you be human, you chase it, you acknowledge your messy middle, then you get after it. And what I love about your story and the simplification of it is that is actually all that it is. You know what I mean? Because and I know you know that, because I've built business myself. I've been in your shoes, so and often people will be like, okay, well, what's all the ingredients? Well, got up and I got after it, and I had awareness for my messy middle moments, and when I didn't want to do something, I wouldn't still got after it and rinse and repeat. And yeah, I fell down, got myself back up again. I was human, made mistakes, you know, and I know you're leaning into all that because that's just reality, isn't it, Logan? There's not rocket science, is it? It's execution.
Well, I think a lot of the times we think people are judging us, and they are 100%, but they're going to judge you either way, like regardless.
Yes. Well, and it's funny because you say that people are judging us when in reality they're judging us, but we're judging them back. And that's why I often think to myself, I'm not worrying about you. You're not worrying about me. We got to worry about ourselves. Right. And often I'm like, okay, is Logan judging me right now? Well, sure she is. It's like I'm judging her. But the reality is she actually doesn't really fucking care. And I don't really care either. But yet we perpetuate ourselves as human beings going, judge. You know, our first guest had all this anxiety before he got on the show. And then he sits in the show. He's like, oh, they're just human beings that just want to talk. Yeah, true story. Right. So anyways, thanks for hanging out.
I used to go into these things and like black out with nerves. And now it's like, you know, you show up.
Yeah. Were you nervous coming to the show today?
Yeah, I always get a little bit nervous.
Really?
What mind just goes.
What perpetuates it? Is it the live idea? Is it just that it's a podcast / show? Like what brings on the anxiety, do you suspect, for yourself?
I think it's the ego idea that people want to listen to things that I say. It comes from that, like, oh, like what value do I have to add? And you start questioning yourself in that way and thinking about, okay, like what can I bring in here that's going to be of use to someone? Because I don't want to just show up and give them nothing. So I start getting anxiety in that sense. Yes. Yeah. Well, you did perpetuate that. You gave us nothing, Logan. No, you just fucking sat here for 24 minutes and said nothing. Jimmy, she was useless. There's the hooks. Jimmy, she was useless, didn't give us nothing. She was boring. She was unentertaining, and she had nothing to offer of value, Logan. So there you go. Did I give it all to you back? Yeah. Seriously, on the business level, what do you got going on today at work? What's shaking at work today, Logan? So I have some phone calls to make, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to hang out with my team. I've done this new thing because we're, adjusting some of our software. So I try to split up my days to give my team time, like one-on-one time, go over the projects that they're, utilizing, making sure that they're finding the things that they need in the software, that they're actually there for them. We did have a gap for a little while where people weren't putting things in the right place. So we're doing a cleanup, and just to make sure that things keep moving. If I give that one-on-one time to everybody on the team, it's going a lot smoother, and then there's a lot less frustration. Are you a standing one-on-one boss kind of person? We're like, okay, we're having a standing meeting. Are you that kind of leader? So we always do have a standing meeting, which I'm actually late to right now. It's at 9:30, but I have really good leadership. And the fun part is even like the newest person on the team who is like, newest in the industry, everybody has like this like leadership quality, because again, we show up human. They just show up and they do the thing. They make sure that the project gets moved along. So I don't really have to worry too much about being constantly there. But what's nice again though, is that they'll come to me and say, hey, I can't find this. I don't have that. Like, what's going on? And that's what our one-on-ones are for. It's more of like, where did somebody put something? Let's make sure it's in the software, but I'm available to them as often as they need me. Granted, my brain can handle it because, again, I go a million miles per hour. It's almost like I start with a full glass and like some gets knocked out throughout the day. And if you catch me towards the end, and like it's word vomit or, spaghetti brain. Yeah. Logan Rae, the 30-year-old founder and CEO of Argon Agency. I got the note from Jimmy, Logan, a West Palm-based marketing
Powerhouse Agency specializing in behavioral healthcare and addiction treatment marketing. She's out there helping folks like you, like me, like all of us who have battles. And she's got a bachelor's degree in neurobiology and neurosciences from Florida. She's rocking and rolling every single day building her business. Logan, thanks for hanging out with me this morning.
Thank you, guys. And your chat's so nice. Everybody's so encouraging. So thank you guys for listening in.
Awesome. We're all about positivity. We're all about getting up after it. We're all about wiping out the bad words like one day, someday, yet. You know, Logan, before you go, good morning, Amy. I see you there in the comments. I like probably yourself, get frustrated when I talk with folks that want to start something. I'm going to get started one day, or I'm going to start someday, or they have this reason yet, right? I'm going to yet. No. Someday starts right now. One day starts right now. Right. I've never found it in the calendar. I keep looking for one day in that 30-day calendar, Logan. I can't find it. Right. I'm going to start one day. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
I do it still sometimes too. Like I've been walking past this big gap in the wall that's supposed to be a kitchen. I'm like, I'm going to order those cabinets, I swear. And I just keep hoping that somebody's going to do it for me. And it's not, they're not going to.
Yeah. Well, hey, my friend, I'm calling you my friend now. I got something for you. Okay, you've given it to me. You've just served it up. You've just and Ray, you've served it up. All right. There's a hole now in your building that you're gonna walk by time and time again, and you're gonna see Uncle Keith's face on it, saying, "Logan, fix me. Logan, fix me." And I want to, Jimmy, we're gonna invite her back when she fixes that wall. So I want you to go to work today, take a picture. Send it to me here on the show so I can look at it and I can wonder when you're going to fix it. So when you come back, you can say, okay, I fixed it. I got this made up here. Because now every time you walk by it, you're thinking of this conversation. I know your neurodivergent brain is going, oh my God, he's right. It's registering in my brain. I'm going to walk back and forth.
I'm going to send you over some cabinet suggestions and you can tell me which cabinets. Because that's my biggest thing. I was like, we have this brilliant idea. It looks like Rainforest Cafe back there.
Yeah, well, let's do it together. Send me pictures and we'll do it together. We'll FaceTime and I'll help you. And Jimmy, we brought a new segment on the show, Renovations with Uncle Keith. Yeah, bring your renovation ideas to the lab and I'll help you sort them out. Logan, you're my first client. You're my first discussion. So I'm going through my day. I'm going to give you my number. I'm going to wonder when. Oh, the hotline, 431-300-3005. We are now helping Logan renovate her office. There it is, you guys. So Logan, the pressure's on you, girl. I'm now, my neurodivergent brain's wondering what's going on in your world today. And as you walk by that wall, you think of Uncle Keith over here. All right, deal?
Oh my God, I'm going to send you pictures. It literally, we painted it wall to wall, this like dark green. So yeah. It's it's straight Rainforest Cafe until we start putting some stuff back there.
I love it. Logan Rae, I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with me and Johnny and the gang this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. You go ahead and get after it. And yeah, I'm serious. I want to help you with that wall. So you got. I'm giving you the eyes. I rarely give the eyes. I'm giving you the eyes. So I have expectations now. True story.
I got the photos up. I'm gonna rapid fire them over, and the next project is the front too. So,
dude, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all you've accomplished in your life. I'm rooting for you. And you know what? I can say this about you. It's clear to me, you are just getting started. Good on you, kid. If I can say that, good on you. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate you, Logan. Logan, how can folks find you, connect with you, engage with you, and meet with you? Logan Rae, floor is yours.
We have the agency pages. It's just Argon, ARGON Agency, argonagency.com. And then my own page is That Marketing Bitch, mostly on Instagram than any other platform. LinkedIn is also big for me too. And then it's just Logan Rae, Argon Agency.
That Marketing Bitch. She said it, not me, Jimmy. Logan Rae.
It's true.
I appreciate you. Come back again and hang out with us, okay?
Thank you.
Awesome. We'll see you soon. Logan's out of here, Jimmy. And you guys can hear the tunes. Oh, baby. It's time for the Community Corner, where we connect LinkedIn and Substack on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Logan's awesome. Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to Maddie, Roofie. We're going to be renovating her office. Maybe we'll just send her the big Mornings in the Lab logo. She could just stick it on the wall there. That's what I'm thinking. She could just put it on the wall there. Or you know what we could do? We could send a TV with the show just built right into the TV. So whenever they come to the office, the show's just running perpetually 24/7. All right, let's get real. How much of what we think about men's health, relationships, and success is shaped by conversations we are having Well, today's lineup is going to challenge your assumptions, crack open some tough topics, and get you talking. Let's get into it, nation. Let's start with this one, Jimmy. Menopause for men. My libido bus broke down. Now what? Yeah, true story. Ever thought you'd hear a guy say, I finally understand menopause? Here we go. Bob Mizek isn't just talking the talk. He's living it thanks to prostate cancer treatment that gave him the full menopause experience. Hot flashes, brain fog, and a libido that just hit the brakes and never looked back. Bob's mission? Making men less clueless about what other partners go through and helping couples keep intimacy alive even when dessert's off the menu. He gets real about how easy it is for men to take things personally when sex disappears, and why the real power move is learning, listening, and supporting your partner through the wild ride of menopause. Gentlemen, I invite you, if you've ever wondered why your relationship feels like it's running on empty, Bob's story is the pit stop you might need. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite form of non-sexual intimacy with your partner? Is it tugging one out with the left? Is it tugging one out with the right? What is it? What is it? I know what it is. Let's move over here to Substack number 2. What women don't understand about men. Yeah, there's another true story. What you guys don't understand. What if the toughest thing about being a man is the stuff you never say out loud? What is it? Well, Gore's essay cracks open the quiet ache most guys carry. The pressure to be enough, the sting of rejection, and the way men build armor out of silence, ambition, and six-pack abs. He paints a picture of men chasing love and validation, but running from vulnerability about one day. The fantasy shatters, and real connection becomes the goal. So if you've ever felt like you're performing instead of living, or wondered why it's so hard, drop the mask. Well, this story is your emotional check-in for the day. Gore reminds us on Substack that real love isn't a trophy, it's a responsibility, and the real work begins when you show up, flaws, fears, and all. Yeah. Abs are made in the kitchen, not the gym. Just dropping truth. Jimmy Mackey is here to cuss your morning excuses. Still blaming your lack of abs on not enough crunches? Fuck. Honestly. Jimmy, I got to go off in a second here. Are you guys just doing the fucking ab crunches and the ab rolls and doing the sit-ups? Hey, where's my abs? Fuck, the abs are in the kitchen. The real reason you can't see your abs isn't the lack of crunches. It's the stubborn belly fat, usually driven by lifestyle, hormones, daily habits that most men ignore. As you're driving to the Chick-fil-A today, well, Mackey lays out the 3 culprits killing your progress: poor sleep, stress, and diet. There, story's over, show's over, the facts are there. It's a wake-up call for every guy over 40. Fuck, every wake up over 30. Trying to outwork a bad routine. You can't outrun a bad diet. Remember, guys, men's health is about daily accountability, not chasing shortcuts, not chasing abs. So you building a healthy lifestyle, or are you just chasing yesterday's performance? Yesterday's performance. Wow, liquid death. The $100 bet that turned into a beverage empire. 5 years ago, a guy named Seth bet liquid death would be out of business by now. Wow. You fast forward to today, not only is Liquid Death still kicking it, they're Amazon's #1 iced tea brand, and their new sparkling sodas are crushing it. Andy Pearson and the team are calling out Seth. Time to pay up, buddy. This is the ultimate underdog story, from dumbest product ever to world domination, all because they refuse to let their haters set their limits. So if you need a shot of business motivation with your morning coffee, that article about Liquid Death is absolutely for you. All right. If you thought menopause was just a woman's issue, if you're still chasing abs crunches, or if you've ever been told your wild idea would never work, today's stories, well, they just proved you wrong. Here, it's about owning the morning, having real conversations, and showing up for the tough stuff most men avoid. So guys, which story fired you up the most? What's the unfiltered conversation you wish men knew we're having every morning but never do. DM, drop us your take, or better yet, tag us your next real talk on LinkedIn or Substack. And hey, who knows? We might feature you in the next Community Corner headline. As we continue the Community Corner over to the Creator Spotlight, we're going to start on LinkedIn, where we like to take the big old Mornings in the Lab spotlight and shine it on somebody in the community. You can close deals all day long, you guys, but when your marriage hits a wall, nothing at work feels right. Every ambitious guy in the C-suite faces it sooner or later. Do I try to fix my marriage? Or do I walk away before regret takes over? Ignore the crossroads, and the stress leaks into your energy, your leadership, your morning routine. You play it wrong, and you risk your legacy at home and at work. But there's one advisor who helps high performers handle marriage challenges with strategy, not drama. She gives C-suite men clarity, fix it or leave without blowing up your life or your reputation. It's about decisive action, science-backed structure, and zero shame. Oxford-educated behavioral scientist, creator of the Successfully in Love method, private advisor to founders and execs who want answers, not platitudes. She's walked this path, navigating divorce in her own family, calling off her first wedding, fighting her way back to real clarity. Team, I'd like to introduce you to Katerina Polonska. She's who top leaders trust to fix their marriages or leave without regret, drama, or risking their legacy. If you want daily motivation, accountability, and real talk about marriage, Katerina is the one to follow. Don't let indecision define your future. Find her on LinkedIn, catch her podcast, and learn how to lead at home like you lead in business. And Katerina, here's how it works. Would love to have you on the show. Would love to have you hang out with me and the gang here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, 9:30 Eastern time for the Community Corner. So we can take the old Mornings in the Lab light, give it to you, and shine it on somebody in your orbit. True story. Yeah. And pay it forward and make somebody else's day as exciting as yours. Yeah, that's exactly it. All right, let's get to the next one. The next one here on the Community Corner of the Creator Spotlight. We're going to head on over to LinkedIn. No, we're going to head down to the next one there, Jimmy. Substack. A guy that might be called Wes. Oh, really? Yeah. Picture this. You're stuck in your apartment. You just lost your job. The world's quiet, but inside your head, everything's loud. No routine, no direction, just you. A pile of worries and that gut level feeling that you're meant for more. Now imagine someone who's turned rock bottom into a new beginning, using structure, discipline, and real accountability to climb out. Someone who found purpose by rebuilding from scratch and now gives men the exact playbook to do the same. He's a working psychotherapist, a coach, a husband, and a dad. And no, his name's not AJ Zeglin. He's guided hundreds through trauma and turning points. He blends old school wisdom with today's men's mental health and live morning accountability. Every story and protocol comes from lived experience. Nation, I invite you to meet Wes Lambert. Wes Lambert, the founder of The Mature Male on Substack. Now, Wes's newsletter isn't just advice. No, baby, it's daily motivation and morning mindset for men who want real growth, not just positive talk. He's on a mission to make men's health and emotional check-ins the new normal. So if you're ready for men's conversations that cut through the noise, I invite you to check out Wes Lambert on Substack. You might just find the roadmap you have been looking for. And Wes, here's how it works. We'd love to have you on the show. Yeah, that's a true story right there. We'd love to give you the Mornings in the Lab light and shine it on somebody in your orbit to keep paying this forward as part of the Mornings in the Lab Community Corner Creator Spotlight. All right, Jimmy, there we go. Wrapping up the Community Corner. Another big show in the books here today. Wow. That's all I have to say. Wow. David Laughead, Logan Rae. We talked mental health today. We talked getting after it today. We talked about that skin aging on your face by cutting out the bad foods and embracing the berries, embracing the polyphenols. Yeah, we talked about that as well. We had a couple topics we did not get to today, which we will get to tomorrow, I'm suspecting. I got some stuff about what men secretly think before they end their marriage, the brutal truth about marriage, why so many men call it their worst decision. We're going to get into that on tomorrow's show, Jimmy. But I think what we're going to do for today is we're going to wrap it up. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap up Mornings and Labs with Keith and Friends. Another day in the books. We're back after it tomorrow, 8 o'clock right here. LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. And you can always connect to this on the morning. I got the itchiest nose today, Jimmy. I have no reason why. No, I'm not doing lines. I'm not doing lines behind everybody. No, I just got the itchy nose here today. The hotline's live, 431-300-3005, 431-300-3005. Text, voicemail, phone us. See what's shaking. Join the conversation right here. Every day, Monday to Friday. Jimmy, should we get out of here? What's going on tomorrow, Jimmy? What's going on tomorrow, Jimmy? Jimmy's frantically typing, going, I got to get him the answer. Yeah, I know he is. He's just frantic. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We got a big day tomorrow. And I know we got 3 guests tomorrow on the show. So while he's looking, I'm looking too. And I'm going to pull it up here. I'm racing him, man. I'm racing him right now because I'm going to tell him before you guys who's showing up here tomorrow. So showing up on the lab tomorrow on the Wednesday big experience, the midday experience, the recovery day Wednesday, we got Ben Sims, Nicholas Suino, and Victoria Chavez. Jimmy, I beat you, mofo. Testosterone Revolution, 4 morning habits that naturally double your levels after 35. Victoria, Nicholas, and Ben joining us tomorrow on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. And until then, we can have the third hour topic. Yeah, this is true. It's actually true. Well, Jimmy, here's the thing, Jimmy. I know we specifically didn't get into the main topic today, but you know what we did? We talked about it with David Laughead. So I somewhat wove that into the big conversation today. And, we've been talking plenty about men's mental health here in the lab as of late. And we're going to keep talking about it. If we don't talk about it, it never gets better. So on behalf of Jimmy, Maddie Roof in the comments, Johnny, Amy Reinhardt, good time, the whole gang. I appreciate all of you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow right here, 8 o'clock Eastern time, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's get out of here, Jimmy.